My son is a prolific collector of data, which is the way it can be if you don't care about funding agencies or peer review. But let's face it, children aren't just little scientists, they're also little parasites. I would know, I'm a parasitologist. Parasites is my area of research. I mean, what is pregnancy but being host to a uterine parasite? And birth is just a shift from an endoparasitic to an ectoparasitic lifestyle. Now, I'm sure some of you might be horrified to consider hearing a mother compare her children to parasites, but bear with me. Parasites aren't all bad. In fact, my PhD dissertation explored how parasites can be used as a therapy for disease. Maybe some of you have heard of the hygiene hypothesis. So it goes something like this. For thousands and thousands of years, our immune systems evolved in the presence of bacteria, of viruses, and parasites. And these bugs did more than just challenge our immune system, they helped develop it. They helped contribute to it, and that set up a balance. But in the last 2 or 3 generations, we've seen dramatic improvements in our hygienic practices, increases in sanitation, and the widespread use of antibiotics and sanitation and disinfectants. And this is especially true in developed countries like Canada. But what this means is that our exposure to all these bugs has been dramatically reduced. As a consequence, our immune systems can get a little bored, a little underdeveloped, and a little out of balance. And it's believed that this is why in developed countries, we have the highest rates of autoimmune diseases, those diseases characterized by immune dysfunction. But what if you could do something to help restore some of this balance? Like give a patient a parasite to help challenge that immune system and set up a new balance. And in fact, clinical studies are exploring how parasites can be used as a treatment for multiple sclerosis, for Crohn's disease, asthma, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, how incredible, right? That parasites could be used to treat disease? It's so unexpected. Much like the way cancer cells can be transformed into a cell line for medical research. So in front of this microscope, scientist, mother, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm feeling and thinking. And as a scientist, I know how important these cells are for research. But as a mother, I still just wonder about that little boy with that aggressive form of cancer. How was he feeling on that day that his blood was drawn and his cells immortalized? His mom tell him to be brave? Do his parents have any idea that their son's cells, but their son's cancer cells, inhabit research laboratories across the globe? And would that offer them comfort or strife? And could they have any idea that some 40 years later, that a scientist and a mother of a 1-year-old son is thinking about theirs? I don't know the answer to these questions, but I do know that if it was my son's cells, I would hope that the scientist on the other end of that microscope would recognize that there was a life behind those cells, a little boy who loved and was loved. And if that scientist felt so inclined to shed some tears for my son, well, I think that those tears have every place to be in a lab.